Previously on
Dungeons and
Claws
Dragons. Having decided what operation to participate in, our heroes met up with Leslie and Guy, who were in charge of the operation. They explained that they would be traveling to an abandoned dock near Craig Run. There they would meet up with the other group of mercenaries, and then they would travel along the road pretending to be prospectors. They would make their way to the fort, avoiding Iron Wharf as much as possible. Now that our heroes knew the full picture, they set sail disguised as the Mineral Minions. Our heroes arrived at their destination without incident and began their guard patrols. Bullet and Duke spotted a suspicious-looking elf who was looking at the ships and writing in a book. After sneaking up on him, he introduced himself as Corful and claimed he was part of the mercenaries stationed here. Bullet escorted him back to town in order to confirm his claims. Meanwhile, Allura and Chad ran into a half-orc outside of a house where a lot of noise was coming from within. He introduced himself as Scrag and said he was in charge of the heavy lifting for the mercenaries. Inside the house, they discovered the noise was being made by Agnem, who was collecting nails from the house in order to make nail bombs. He introduced himself as Sibao. Now that everyone had met each other, our heroes and company made a plan for defending the camp and caravan. After a successful night watch where nothing happened, our heroes set out on the road. The caravan was making good progress until they encountered a winding road leading down the mountain. Chad and Bullet scouted out the road and found an unstable patch of road. Bullet managed to jump his way across. Chad, on the other hand, did not and fell all the way to the bottom. Our heroes began making the road passable. They wedged wooden boards next to the nearby boulders so they wouldn't come loose as the caravan went by. Duke used his molding earth abilities to pave the formerly unstable patch of road. And Chad began chipping away at the boulder that had fallen in the middle of the road. Everything was proceeding as planned until it wasn't. The wooden supports began to snap and not even Bullet's glue arrows could stop them. The boulder came down the mountain and hit Chad. However, Chad does not give a fuck and continued to chip away at the rock. Eventually, the boulder was destroyed and the caravan was able to successfully enter the valley. Our heroes eventually made it to Craig Run, where they met up with Bram, who had been scouting the area for them. They all sat down at the bar, and Bram explained the situation. He explained that to get to the mine, there's a toll bridge, and he believed the group in charge of the mines and the bridge, the CCC, would not let them pass. He also explained that there's a broken bridge up north they could try to repair, but it's very close to the main road and there's a good chance they would be spotted. Our heroes decided that their best course of action was to get hold of a CCC document and try to deceive the people guarding the toll bridge to let them pass. There were a couple places in town where they could find people with said document. There's the mining tavern, the Purple Pickaxe, where CCC miners drink. And there's also the Fisticuffs headquarters, the CCC's mercenary group. They decided to have Chad and Scrag get drunk with the dwarves and try to get some information. Allura heads back to camp and tells Scrag the plan and relieves him of his triple shift watch. Despite Chad's terrible singing, Chad and Scrag successfully join the party and get the dwarves thoroughly sloshed. Because of this, one of the dwarves gets thrown out and passes out outside the tavern. Bullet and Duke search his things and find a diary and a CCC letter of employment. However, the seal was unfortunately broken. Meanwhile, back at camp, Allura managed to find someone breaking into one of the caravan's crates. She successfully captured him and tied him to a tree. She left him in Guy's care and then headed back to town. Back in town, our heroes decided to head to the Fisticuffs headquarters. Chad began insulting the dwarves inside, trying to get them to vacate the building. After much spiriting, Chad managed to trick the four dwarves outside. They then all had a very loud arm wrestling tournament with them with a table that was outside the building for some reason. With all the noise, Bullet managed to sneak in through the back door. Inside, Bullet managed to find a safe behind a painting. Inside the safe, Bullet managed to swipe a Fisticuffs sealing stamp, their sealing wax, a CCC letter with a partial seal. A letter saying that the Fisticuffs were suspicious of a man that closely resembled Bram, and a bag of unknown contents. With their goal achieved and the tournament over with Duke somehow taking third place, our heroes made their way back to camp to get some sleep before dawn.